Hey, thanks for coming back for another figure opening video. Today we're going to be looking at a figure that has just come out here in Japan. Today we're going to be looking at the Beserker of Black figure from Fate Apocrypha. I'm really excited to be opening this figure because it's my favourite character from the series, so I'm really excited to see what the detail is like on the figure and to see if it's worth the money you spend on it. So today, let's open her up, put it together and see what she's like and give you all a nice detailed look at the quality of today's figure. So thanks for joining me again in today's video. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Beserker of Black figure from Fate Apocrypha. I'm really excited to open this figure today because she is my favourite character from the entire series. She's absolutely beautiful and it's a shame that certain things happened to her pretty early on. Now before we get into too much detail inside of the package, I just want to have a look on the outside to give you a nice detailed look at what to expect from the box and what kind of contents you can find on the box itself. So as we said, this is the Fate Apocrypha Kuro no Beserker figure. The Black Beserker figure. Or in English, the Beserker of Black figure. Yeah, Japanese grammar's not easy to understand. The company that puts the figures together is Jaya Prize. I did a bit of research into them and they make a lot of figures here in Japan. I wasn't too sure on which company it was that put them together, but this was definitely the company. So we won this figure from the Taito Arcade in Nipponbashi. There's a very big one down there near Namba Parks and the staff there are very helpful. We managed to win this figure for 800 yen I believe, and the staff were very nice in repositioning it just a little bit more so it was easy for us to drop the box down. Unfortunately, the box dropping did result in just a tiny bit of damage on the corner here, but it's not all that important because hopefully the figure itself is in good condition. So as you may know, this character's real name is Frankenstein. It's a bit off from Frankenstein's monster, and of course it's even more off as she is a woman, and Frankenstein's monster I think was genderless. Regardless, this is still an amazing character from that anime. There's a few poses from the side which I'm really hoping to take a deeper look at when we get the figure out. Just a quick look at some of the information here. Prize only. Okay, so this is not for resale or for sale, although you will be able to find this on God knows how many websites. It was made in China. Many people believe that if it's made in China the quality is not that great, but I found that it's very hit or miss. Sometimes it could be amazing quality, sometimes it could be terrible quality. They recommend that this figure is for people aged 13 and up. I'm not too sure why, maybe there's small bits inside. And there's just a lot of other Japanese information. So, now it's time to open up the box and see what we can find inside. So today we're going to be using a knife to open up all of the pieces because I like the cuts to be nice and clean. The top itself has 3 different pieces of tape to cut through. Just put you down for a second. This one I have to be a little bit more careful of because there is a flap here. And there's also one piece on this side. So very simply we're going to open her up. This time there's a little flap on the box. And she comes in a nice plastic case. Let's put her out. Let's look together for the first time. Oh wow, she looks very pretty here. I think this looks absolutely lovely. Ooh. Okay, I'm really excited to open this. Okay, let me put her down for a second. Okay, so wonderful figure. Let's try and take her out of her plastic. She seems a little bit stuck in here. Plastics are all held together with a bit of tape. Oh, it's like a nice little door. Woo, hey. Okay, so taking her out of the case itself, we'll take a closer look at the figure later. Let's take a quick look at her weapon, which I believe is called Bridal's Chest. This is her warhammer she uses in the anime. Take a closer look at this later too. And there's also a few little bits here. Not too sure what these are. This may be her horn, this may be part of her weapon. Again, we'll take this apart too. And then on the back, of course, we have our little stand, which is to put everything together. So, this is the stand. And the stand is just very, very plain black. 2 different holes of different sizes for different parts, I suppose. Nothing special here. There's a little bit of information for the Fate Apocrypha logo. Stand. We also have her weapon, and her weapon's name is called Bridal Chest. This is her warhammer she uses in the anime, and it usually has an elemental power that's electric, I believe. But as you can see, the weapon itself has a lovely amount of detail to it. All these tiny little dots on the hammer top. Unfortunately, it looks like a little bit of glue has spilt here, which is a bit of a shame. But the gold looks lovely. It's absolutely wonderful. There's a lot of attention to detail here as well on the handle. And these pieces here are tiny, tiny pieces. The size of my finger here to these little pieces. There's little knobbly bits here that are pointing out. Looks absolutely wonderful here. Beautiful, beautiful. Also on her weapon we have her hand. I'm putting my fingers behind because the camera's not picking it up on the white background. But it looks like there's a little bit of attention to detail here. It looks like the hand as well has been glued on, which I think is very helpful because this means that the entire piece will attach easily to the body when we get to it. So yeah, this looks nice. And then further along we also have a tiny, tiny little end piece. I think it might be missing one of those smaller pieces, so let's have a quick look at that and maybe attach it. So these are the little bits that we were missing. I believe that this is the part for the end of her weapon. So just a quick look here. It looks like a microphone. A lot of detail here, here. A nice gold bit here. And when we put it together, the whole weapon here looks absolutely wonderful. Yeah, very, very impressed with this. It looks nice, but I wonder how it's going to look on the figure itself. So let's get to the main attraction. And finally is Frankenstein herself. As you can see from this angle, she looks absolutely beautiful, and she's holding her arm up to her chest. Also, she's missing a hand, so I assume this is where the weapon goes, which of course makes sense. So let's take a look at what she's wearing. She's wearing a lovely golden necklace. She's also wearing some kind of bridal dress. There's some lovely, lovely attention to these little ruffles here on her dress. They look very, very pretty. And these go all the way around to the back. And then there's also multiple layers to her dress here. So yeah, I think that's what adds to the volume of this figure. She's also wearing a lovely headdress in a nice dark purple colour. This also looks wonderful too, and the flowers on top of her head look beautiful. Unfortunately, you can see very clearly where they've glued the 2 parts of her head together here. But it's not too obvious when you see from the front. But her hair looks absolutely wonderful. There's multiple layers to her hair, which makes it nice and voluminous, and it makes it stand out a lot. There's also a big long metal piece that goes all the way from this side through to the other side. I believe this is part of the Frankenstein monster I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is part of what makes Frankenstein's monster work. Also, there's nothing on her back, so it looks like she's wearing just the front of a dress only. And there's also some kind of ball here. Now, I have no idea what this is or what it's for, but it makes it look lovely and it does stand out quite nicely. Now, the part I really want to look at is her face. Now, in the anime, her hair is covering her face and there is no difference here on this figure. And if you look really closely, you can see that both of her eyes have been fully painted and are there. They actually look beautiful under there, and it feels like it's kind of wasted with the hair in front. But that doesn't mean that there's any detail lost. The mouth as well is just a tiny, tiny indent with a bit of pink. And if we turn to the side, you could see she has a nose sticking out, so it doesn't look alien. And there's also this golden point out here. Now, I believe her horn goes into this hole, so let's put that in really quickly. And there we go. That's her with her horn in. I think it looks absolutely beautiful, this figure. I'm really, really happy with the figure itself. And for 800 yen, this was an absolute steal. But we still have to put her together, so let's finish her up. And then let's take a better look at her after. So here she is in her full glory. You saw earlier we put this small piece on the end here, but we actually had to take it back off because this part slides through her hand, so it looks as though she's holding the full mace in one hand. But altogether she looks absolutely wonderful and I'm really impressed. This was an 800 yen figure, and if you're going to pick her up, I think she's about 3,500 yen here in the shops, which is equivalent to about $35 or about 20 English pounds. But what a wonderful figure. It looks beautiful. Let's give you a better look at her, because we also haven't had a look at her shoes or anything. But let's take a nice detailed look at her right now. So here we have a nice closer look at the figure itself. We're currently looking at her face. Again, as I say, this is a beautiful, beautiful figure. Here she is from the side. You can see that the horn sticks out a lot here, and it's just a beautiful pose that she's pulling here. It looks just wonderful. Really, really thoroughly impressed with the whole thing. Here she is facing the other direction, and here's a nice long view of her weapon. It goes all the way down the figure, and as you can slightly see, there are those boots we talked about slightly. I will have a more detailed look at that in a second. Here's a nice close-up of her face. Again, we still can't see the eyes, but she looks beautiful. And here are those boots we talked about. They are very shiny and they look absolutely gorgeous. I think they suit her very nicely. So there you go, that is the figure. Let's see if we can find some space for her on the shelf. Okay, where are we going to put you? I don't know if we have any space on this shelf. There's a lot of Miku's, there's a lot of our favorite figures. It looks like there's a little space here. I was saving it for the Rem figure, which will, for the Ram figure, which will be coming out later this month or early next month. But I think for now this might be a nice spot. There's a few other Fate characters here in the back. It's pretty dark back there. Hello. So let's put her up here and see how she's looking. Yeah, I think actually that's a lovely spot for her right here. So there you have it, that's the Fate Apocrypha Beserker of Black figure. I think Frankenstein will be an absolutely wonderful addition to this collection, and I think that she's got a nice place for now next to Rem and some of her other different story Fate characters. So, beautiful. Absolutely wonderful figure. So if you're in Japan, I highly recommend that you pick her up. You can also find her on some websites online. Might be worth looking into investing. You'll probably end up spending around $30 on her, but I think it's a wonderful addition to any collection. So thanks for joining me today on today's figure opening video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give us a like. If you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe. I will be trying to release more figure opening videos soon. And hey, if you have a figure that you want to see opened in Japan before you buy it, send me a message, put a comment below, and I will see what I can do to see if we can get that figure. So, thanks for joining me again today, and I hope to see you again soon. Okay, bye!